Let's welcome Pro Ajay. Pro Ajay, welcome to AR Pro. Welcome to Rev Up with AR Pro.
Thank you. Thank you, Pro Shrikant. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for inviting me here. It's a wonderful occasion for me and a good platform to be on. Thank you. One of the incident, if I have to share, uh,
Mhm.
sometime back,
Laptop
a
charger.
couple of years,
Laptop
couple of
charger.
years back, customer messaged me as early as morning, say about 3:30 in the morning, 3:30 a.m. He messaged me saying that I purchased a car from your showroom and I am feeling cheated. I want to return this car. I don't want to buy your car. So I want you to take my car back and refund my money. This is the kind of message he sent me early morning at 3:30. So the moment I saw it was like a shock. Early morning 3:30, somebody is sending a message saying that I am feeling so cheated that your team didn't give me a good service. I was like, I couldn't sleep. The moment I got into the office, first thing I called him. He didn't respond. He said he's busy. Please message me is what he. Then I replied saying that I am so and so. I wanted to talk to you and meet you personally to understand your concern. Said he sends back the message saying that I am not interested in meeting anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. My concern is take back this car, give me my money back. I I kept on requesting him for almost 1 week. He didn't give us an appointment. After 1 week, I called him so many times that then he couldn't resist. He picked up the call. He said, Ajay, I will meet you only once. But my point is, you will take the car back and give me my money back. I said, first let's meet. I said, can I come over? He said, no, I will come over to your office. We'll sit and discuss. I said, fine. So we fixed up a time. He came over. Then I just wanted to hear him out what went wrong. He said he came on so and so day. He saw the car. The consultant showed the car, and he chose the car. Color was decided, and he paid the money and took the car delivery. I said, "What went wrong?" He said, "No, just my neighbor bought a car just 1 month back, and when I see his car and when I see my car, I I see there's a lot of difference." I said, "What difference did you find?" He said, "The same model, but I see a lot of difference in the features." I asked him, which variant are you comparing? He said, I don't know about that. Then I took the records and saw he had bought a one model above the basic, and his neighbor had bought a top end model. So there was a huge difference in features. I said, he has gone in for a top end model and you are going in. He said, I don't care. I don't want this car. I said, now that the car is registered and you have used it for more than a month, we can't take the car back. So my request is, you want to add on some accessories which you like, I can always help you out in that. Said, no, nothing doing. Take the car back, give me the money back. I said, we spent almost more than 1.5, 2 hours. He was like, he understood. He said, he understood saying that, okay, maybe that model has a more features, but his contention was like, I was not aware of this. Then I had to call my sales guy and ask him, were you able to explain? Then what happened was like he came, the car which was on display, he saw it, he liked the color, he straight away booked it. He didn't go beyond that. The moment the customer booked the car, even the sales guy said, okay, when he has decided on this color and this model, he didn't feel like explaining about the other things. I said, see, this is what has happened. But still, since he said, I don't want to drive. So I said, fine, if you don't want to drive, my suggestion is there are only one option. You have to sell this car and then go for a new which you like, which with all those features. He said, yes, I am okay, but I will not spend much money. I said, okay, first let me see how much valuation can be done, what price you'll get. So we gave a price. He was not again convinced. It went on for almost for a week to 10 days after that. And then finally agreed, and we sold. We took back his car in the Hyundai used car business, and then we gave him the new car at a difference of cost, of course, which he agreed to pay later on, and he paid it. So, but second time when he was taking the delivery, he said, "See, whether the customer comes and asks, I want X model and X color, as a salesperson, it's your duty to explain to me right from bottom to top what models are there, what variants are there, what features are there. You keep entire variants in front of me. Let me choose the model and variant which I want." Since that was not done, I a point well taken. I said that's really we should appreciate, because he has a valid point, because it's our duty as salespeople to make sure that he has the knowledge about all the variants which is sold in our dealership, and then let him choose. So a lesson to our entire team was like, don't just go by what customer came and told you, but it's your duty to explain what all we have in our range of cars, what all variants we have, what all features are there. So I was like unable to digest the fact that if he felt cheated and he could message me as early as 3:30 in the morning, he might have gone through so much that later on that customer became so friendly with me and with our team. Then he started bringing in more and more customers. He became our brand ambassador, and every time he used to come with his friend or any relative, he used to take them around the showroom. He used to show them all the cars as if he's part of that showroom. In
So there are two important things that we understood from this. That's really amazing, because many times this is a question that is asked in many dealerships. As soon as the customer comes in, okay, which car do you need? Which variant? You need a diesel or a petrol? Now, when we start asking such questions and just decide a car based on that, unless you go deep and understand the customer's requirements and maybe explaining a complete demo of the car is given properly, these kind of situations can happen. And this incident also gives us one more very important detail, that if a customer, even after a complaint is handled well and taken care of, he can still be a customer for us for lifetime. And not being one customer himself, but also bring in reference. That's something really amazing, isn't it? Okay. So, Prajay, that was a fantastic experience sharing. In fact, I was just telling the team how important it is to take care of a customer and probe him, understand his requirements, and give him a complete detailed demo of the car. That makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
And if a customer is treated well in spite of a complaint and taken care of the complete complaint and solved to his satisfaction, he'll be a customer for a lifetime.
Absolutely,
So,
I agree.
That was amazing. That was a very interesting story to hear. Can you tell us about one of the most inspirational moments in your career of auto industry?
The most inspirational moment was like when Advait Hyundai was rated one of the largest selling dealer in the entire world.
That was in the year 2016, I guess.
16, yeah, absolutely. So that was a great moment for all of us. In fact, we never even dreamt of it, but hats off to all the team members. We made it happen. So that was a very inspiring moment for us, and even today we work hard to make sure that we live up to it. So all the team members are very dedicated and honest in working towards it. And another very inspiring moment for us was like just previous year, in the year 2019. We had partnered with the state government under a social welfare scheme, and never we had had any kind of tie-up with the state government to sell cars. But it was the first time we had an opportunity, and the social welfare department under self-employment scheme for the youths. They had come up with a fantastic scheme for them, where they had tie up with Ola and Uber, where they would give a car as a subsidy up to 5 lakhs, and remaining they had to take a loan and do it. This kind of thing was a new thing for us. Mr. Gupta and me discussed about it, and he said, Ajay, never we have done anything in this particular segment. Why don't we work on it? And we had a plan in place, and we worked out a strategy. And the best part was like we made a core team. The core team was never from the sales. We never involved a sales guy into that. We involved people from different departments, and who were not from a hardcore selling background. And amazing thing happened was like we could reach a number of close to 1,000 cars in that particular year, only to that particular scheme, and which is a kind of one of its kind of record. A single dealer selling close to about 1,000 cars in a year in a particular scheme, which was never heard of it. We also never thought about it, but it happened mainly because of the vision of Mr. Gupta, and the team was so dedicated. They just blindly worked on whatever was told, and we could achieve it. This is again a very inspirational moment for me, because which we never thought we'll achieve it. We made it happen because of the focus and the hard work of the team. So these two things I would always cherish.
Okay. So I'm sure you have had a lot of customer experiences. Of course, you shared one of them. But can you tell one of your most, toughest moment of toughest customer apart from that?
See, thankfully, in Hyundai, the products are so good. I haven't come across any customer who's not been very unhappy with the product. Yes, he might be unhappy with the certain things which he didn't like, or maybe he didn't. It was not handled properly. So I remember one of the customers who comes from he's a very big contractor in Bangalore, and he had almost all the big brand luxury cars in his house, right from Mercedes, Audi, BMW, everything he had at his house. But he had a kind of liking towards some Hyundai cars, and one of them was like a Terracan. Those days when we were selling the Terracan, he was keen to have one, and he purchased one. And after that, he purchased one more. So the first car he had a very good experience. The second car, that is when the Hyundai had come up with a dual AC in the Terracan. The rear also there was an AC. So the rear AC was not up to his satisfaction, or it was not working properly. So he was a kind of so upset, because he was like, I sit in the back and I am not getting the AC comfort. My driver gets the AC comfort. I don't want this car. He came one fine day and stood in front of our office and said, you take back this car. If you say I will not take back this car, I'm going to burn this car right away, right in front of you. So it was like their way of handling was different. His language was completely different. He came with some 8-10 guys saying that nothing doing, whatever you want, you do. Either I want the car, the money refunded, or I will burn this car right in front of you. And it took almost 1 hour for me to convince him to get inside the showroom. I took almost 1 hour to convince him, and he then agreed to come inside. Then we sat together and we discussed, understood. I heard him out almost what all he said. Then I spoke to my service head. We called even the Hyundai people. Then we said, give us one opportunity to fix the problem. It is not a major thing. You are complaining about that there is no cooling effect in the rear seat. If we don't address your concern, then you have all the liberty to take whatever decision you want. With a lot of reluctance, he agreed. And then finally said, Ajay, I am going with one confidence that you will not give him an opportunity to come and stand again. I said, I promise you, I will not do that. I said, okay. The next day, our team worked on it, and we found out it's not the problem of the technical problem was not there. There was some kind of loose contact, and it was a very minor thing. The mental frame of that person was like as if the entire system has failed. Then we fixed it, and we retained the car for almost 1 or 2 days to check whether it's perfectly working fine. And when it was perfectly fine, then we spoke to him, went to his place, delivered the car. We said, I told him, see, it's perfectly fine. We didn't get into what happened because we didn't want to tell him that it was a very minor thing, because his feeling was there's something major had happened. He said there was some problem, we have fixed it. It was not a major thing, not to worry about it. Said, are you sure if next time it happens, I will not? I said, absolutely, you have all the liberty. You can walk into my dealership, you can walk into my cabin. Whatever you say, I will go by that. Then he was convinced, and he drove the car for almost 2-3 years. He didn't have any problem. But again, he became a very, very good, loyal customer for us. He started bringing in more and more people to us. I would say that was a moment which I still remember when, if I recollect, he was standing in front of the showroom saying that I'm going to burn the car with people around. So it was a very, very kind of tough situation for us to cool him down. It was nothing to do with the team members or anything, but he had that kind of feeling. So this kind of challenges, I'm sure a lot of people would have come across. What I have learned is, if you hear them out, if you have patience, listening to them and accepting certain things and admitting that we will take care of it and giving him confidence that we are there with you, will make a lot of difference. That's what I learned from that experience.
That's something really important. Many of us we miss out on. Whenever there's a customer complaint, one of the most important things is give him the confidence that yes, I am here to help you, I am here to support you, and I will ensure that the problem is solved to your satisfaction. So team, that's something very important when we're talking to any customer, that can be sales or after sales. Giving him the confidence first is very important. 2, patiently listening to him and understanding the problem from his point of view.
True.
This is slightly common in the after sales, wherein I've seen the service advice, especially it's happened to me also. When I go tell him there's a small rattling sound from the door. And the first dialogue he would say, sir, that's a common thing, small thing. Now, when there's a customer who is complaining that there's a rattling sound, however small it is because he is annoyed with it. Understanding that feeling. So that is something very important. And that is, of course, proven here again in this example. That was amazing, Pro. Now, Pro, let me ask you something. Apart from this, now you said after the lockdown, after the post-lockdown, now the dealership started functioning. How do you experience in situation? How are the inquiries? How are the walk-ins? Or how do you think should be the way forward?
Shrikant, what I would say is a lot of things has changed. The way we have to see is completely different. See, earlier sales guys used to depend on a lot of walk-ins and a lot of other source of inquiries. But at our dealership, from a very long time, we have been working on a digital platform. We have been working so closely with our digital team that we generate a lot of inquiries through digital platforms. Our website generates huge chunk of inquiries for us. If you ask me, through our website inquiries, I would cover close to about 40% of my business. So that's a very good chunk to cover up. And through the digital platform, the conversion ratio today across everybody says it's between 5 to 10% or some slightly more than that. But we've been lucky to have good team where they've been working very strongly on that, and we have been able to retain close to about between 18 to 20% as a conversion ratio on the digital inquiries.
So 18 to 20% on the digital inquiries.
Absolutely. That's
That's
a kind
amazing.
of that's something our team really works hard on it. We have a dedicated team where they generate inquiries, they talk to the customers, they fix up appointments, they go to an extent till the sales guys go meet, follow up till it is converted. So that kind of very close follow up is happening. So that has helped us. So in this kind of situation, we need to look at what are the other ways of generating inquiries. One is, of course, uh, the digital platform. The other biggest asset, what I would say any sales guy should have, is their own customer database. If my customer database is strong, if my service levels are good with them, I don't have to wait for anybody. I have to go back to them. I have to talk to my own customers. They will help me out whenever I am in need. I have to only call my customer saying that I need your help. Why don't you refer me your friends or relatives? I am sure people who have been happy with our services, they will never hesitate. They will immediately, if they know somebody, they will refer, or if not, they will talk to some people. They will get back to us saying that, see, here is a guy who's looking for a car. He might be looking at any car, but still he would uh, come back to us. In this scenario also, I would like to quote one of our customers who's been loyal customers of us from 98. See, from 98, he's been, I have seen, it's a family of husband, wife, and two children. In the 98, when they bought a Santro, first Santro, then his son got into college, they bought their second Santro. Daughter got into a different course, they bought Gets for themselves. And then daughter got into a different, she moved into a different city for a different education course, they bought one more car. About 5 6 cars. And this gentleman was working in a software company. That company was very small in 98. Today it's a big name. If I have to say, it's a Infosys, the company where he was working, and today is voluntarily retired and is happy. So recently, he sent me a photograph of a Elantra car which was picked up by his daughter. I was like upset, and I messaged him, "How can you not buy from me and you have sent me a photograph of a Elantra purchased by your daughter?" He immediately called me back and said, "Ajay, don't worry, my daughter is settled in Australia. She has bought a Elantra in Australia." So that is the kind of loyalty we have with a lot of customers. Even though they had so much option in Australia to buy, still they prefer to buy a Elantra. And he is one customer I would always look at, who goes all out to recommend, talk about our cars. And whenever I call him, he will have something to give me. He will have something to offer me. Hey, Ajay, talk to this guy. He was looking for some car. Why don't you talk to him? He will help you out. So, like this, I'm sure everybody will have their own database. Everybody, they have to only be in touch with their customers and keep a rapport in such a way that I should be a kind of part of their family. Only then it's possible. If I call him only when I need my business, then it doesn't happen. If I am regularly in touch, not for anything, just to say hi, hello, and how are things, what's happening, that's good enough. I'm sure it will take us in a long way. So digital platform is one big thing, and our own customer database. These are the two things which we have to depend on and we have to work on. And today, if you look at our teams, most of the teams, not only our team, a lot of teams, what they do is, because of the social distance, people hesitate meeting unless until they don't make up their mind. So we have started doing a video call for a demonstration of the car. From the showroom, we make a video call to the customer. We show them the car. We give a demonstration. We run through the product. We give him all the information about the product. And once he's thorough about it, only when he says, "Okay, I want to drive a car," then with all the SOPs followed, sanitizing the demo car, then we take the demo car to his place, make sure that he is convinced, and then we ensure that the sale happens. So we have to follow certain norms now, because the complete market scenario has changed. But we have to give a lot of importance to hygiene factor for ourselves, for our cars and when we meet the customers, because it's important for everybody. So this will definitely help us, is what I feel.
So, team, that is two very important points suggested by Pro Ajay. One is conversion on your digital leads. So, taking every digital lead as the most important lead is something very important today, without missing out any follow ups and ensuring that customer gets all details digitally. That could be even right from mailing or sending a brochure by WhatsApp, or even having a video call with the customer and showing him the car live, also could be done. And the second most important thing is depending on your customer bank. That's amazing story told by Pro Ajay, wherein he has shown a customer who started from a Hyundai Santro and went on to an Elantra. So this is something that you have done. I mean, many of us have done, because whenever we are giving a car to a customer, it is not just a car. To us, it might be one among the hundreds of cars that we sell, but to a customer or to us itself, when you buy a new car, it's an emotion. It's a celebration at home, isn't it? So you're actually planting the seed of this brand in the customer. As kids during our childhood, when we have always sat in our father's car, that brand just etches into our heart. Many of us have that, isn't it? So the way that comes out is something very important that is shown in the story, in fact. And this is something we call LTV, customer lifetime value. So a customer started from a Santro, and if he's gone to 4 or 5 cars in his entire lifetime from the same brand, that is what we're looking at. So if you have a customer in your dealership, don't look at him as the one customer, customer for one car and gone. No, it is a way to be in touch with this customer throughout his lifetime, so that not only this first car in his life, but the entire number of cars in his life is given by a customer. That's the kind of relation we should be building with the customer. So thank you, Pro Ajay, for this fantastic information. Now we go on to the last section of the day, that is the Q&A section. So we have a lot of questions already coming in from our people who are watching this live. So let me put them across to you one by one.
Sure.
So here we have a first question from, let me just check. Yeah, this is Subhendu Ganguly. So he says, how do we strike a balance between the huge volume pressures and increasing customer expectations?
That's a very good question. The volume pressure is always there. In my experience, when we were selling 100 cars, also we had a volume pressure. Today we are selling 1,500 cars. Even today we have pressure. So this pressure is not going to leave us. So one thing we have to understand is, if we are doing things right, and if we are focused on our job, what we are supposed to do, and we have a clarity in our mind how to go about it, I'm sure it's not a very difficult task. Yes, the number pressure builds up every now and then, but if we have a proper planning and you have the right people to execute, you don't have to worry, it will happen. You will definitely achieve it. That's what I can say. You need to have focus towards it, is what I would say.
Okay. Here we have another question from Pro Balachandran, who says, other than price and discounts part, how can we retain customers where multiple dealership is present? How do we handle this?
It's a very challenging situation when you have multi dealers, and everybody will be working very hard to their market share. So in this scenario, the experience matters. If you are able to give him a good experience and make sure that he doesn't think of anybody else, then you've done your job. The wow factor comes with the experience. If you're able to give him a good experience right from the moment he walks into the dealership till the moment he drives out the car, there should not be a moment where he should feel that I went to an unknown place or I met some strangers. He should feel that he was talking to some known people. He should feel that, okay, he is part of that showroom or we are part of their family. That kind of feeling should be there with the customer. Only then we'll be able to differentiate ourselves from the present, from our dealership to the other dealership. I'm sure everybody will be working hard on it. It depends on what matters for you is what you should follow. You should follow what you think is right for you. We can't copy what others do. See, everybody will have their own strengths, so we should work on that particular thing. Okay, that makes the difference.
Okay, so we have a question from Harish Kestur. So Harish says, how does a brand affect digital marketing conversion?
I don't think the brand will affect here. It's the way you position yourself, the way you market yourself in the digital platform. You need to be very innovative in terms of kind of marketing yourself in the digital platform. You can't be just following some regular things. There are so many companies, there's so many programs which will tell you what all you should follow. I'm sure in this platform, if I start talking about it, takes a lot of time. But I would only suggest, if you have any good person who knows about the digital thing, he can guide you, he can tell you what all to be done. Brand will definitely not affect. It's the way we market ourselves or the way we position ourselves will make all the difference.
Okay. So team, we are coming to end of time today. So if you have more questions, you can always email it to us. I'll show you the email ID in a while. But team, before that, to ensure that we don't miss out of a lot of questions from you, next time we have started this new way of getting your questions to us. So when we post about the new upcoming RevUp episode, you can email your questions in advance to info@autoretailpro.com. I'll just show you this email ID. So email to this email ID, that is info@autoretailpro.com, your questions in advance, so that we can be prepared with these questions with the host even before the program. So this can avoid we missing out on your questions during the program. Okay. So with that, we come to end of the session. And before we end, of course, please type your comments on how we loved the session with Pro Ajay Singh. He is definitely going to read it. And of course, I'll be sending it to him as well. So team, with that, we come to end of this. And I thank Pro Ajay again for taking time to come on our show and sharing his experience. So Pro Ajay, this is just the start. We'll be meeting up even further in other programs on AR Pro. Of course, you are a member as well, so you will be updated with all the updates from here. So team,
thank you.
Enjoyed the show. Okay. So we will have yet another exciting guest next Sunday at 11 a.m. Do remember to register on our portal to get notified on WhatsApp and also your email. And team, do check your emails because most of our important communication happen on email. So check your emails for latest updates, and of course register online, for that so that we can send you the latest updates and notification on your WhatsApp as well. So before we end, last thing I have to tell you is do share this video and tag this video with your colleagues. So share this video immediately with your team members. And of course, this can do somebody else. Okay. So guys, with that, we come to end of the show. Goodbye.